Welcome. I'm Carl Frederick, and I will be interviewing individuals for Kenosha Voices, an oral history project of the Kenosha County Historical Society in conjunction with Kenosha Community Media. I have worked in newspapers for more than 40 years as an editor and a reporter. 38 and a half of those years were at the Kenosha News. I am also a member of the Kenosha County Historical Society Board. We hope you enjoy these programs. I'm speaking with Brett Bjorn, owner of Mike Bjorn's Fine Clothing in downtown Kenosha. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
When did you get started in the business?
So I've been in the business literally right out of high school, and I was actually working part-time from junior high on. So I've been there a solid 25 years. People usually a lot of people actually think I'm Mike Bjorn sometimes. They don't realize my dad always, because I've been there so many years, but yeah, I'm Brett Bjorn.
So what was your first job?
My first job was Bjorn's. It always has been.
What did you do?
Starting from stocking the shelves to cleaning the floors and windows. I didn't always help customers out until I kind of learned the ropes. But yeah, just the basics, stocking, all that kind of stuff. And I slowly got integrated into helping customers. And from there, I took on more and more responsibility over the years.
Okay, and when did you start owning the business?
I took over partial ownership when my dad was still around. I think we had it split 3 ways between my mom, my dad, and me for ownership. And because at that point he knew I was very strongly invested in the business, and I'd earned it over the years. And then I took over full ownership within the last year. So.
Okay. And what is a typical day like for you now?
I jokingly say I don't open the store without at least 4 cups of coffee in me. Just to make sure I'm alert and ready to go. But usually it's just, keeping the employees in check, making sure inventory's good, making sure things are ordered, making sure customers are happy. So I'm always on the floor. I'm there quite a lot. I don't take many days off, so I'm very hands-on in the business. So.
Okay. And when was it founded?
It was 1981. My dad started it. So my mom and dad started it. So.
And why was a clothing store what your dad wanted to get into?
So it's kind of a funny story. My dad went to school to be an art teacher. That was his passion, as you can kind of see with the business. And he had a hard time finding a full-time teaching gig. So finally one day, him and my mom talked, and they saved up some money. It's kind of a famous story he always told. They saved up 10 grand, which took quite a long time back then. And they got it open with a hope and a prayer, and over the years it's grown, so very thankful.
Okay, and did he have any experience in the business prior?
He did. I think he worked at both, I want to say, Mater's Men's Shop and then also S.J. Crystal's. So he was at both those places years earlier.
Tell me a little bit about your dad, because the business seems to reflect him.
My dad was a very eccentric guy. He was always the life of the party, a lot of fun. He was beloved. As I tell customers, they don't name a street after just anyone. You got to really make your mark in life for the city to want to name a street after you. But yeah, he was a mix of an artist, a businessman. His gimmick was just making the store wild and get people talking, and just fun guy, and also well known for being a local musician. So.
Right. And his musicianship, what did he play? What did he perform?
He was a drummer for many years. He was even a drummer in the military band. He got sent to Germany during Vietnam, actually being a drummer, so he was very happy with that. He was a local musician for years. I've heard legendary stories about the band him and Jim White and other members were in, that there was almost a backlog where people would plan their weddings around when they could get Bjorn and White to play their wedding. And it wasn't him telling me that. I've heard that story from random people, just how legendary they were in the old days. They put on a good show.
And was there a method to his collection that you find some of in the store?
I think it was a little of everything. It was anything from JFK to Martin Luther King to he was a big fan of planes and ships. As a boy, I think, and he just integrated that into the business. Just a little of everything. Wanted it to be that museum. It got pretty wild over the years. We really loaded that place, 10, 20 years back with stuff. It's scaled back a little bit, but he had a kind of a collection of everything. It was a little bit of everything.
Okay. Can you describe some of the pieces that you'll find if you walk into the store, hopefully looking to buy some clothing?
You know, we have so many anything from his giant artwork, because he was an artist, so we have, some of his ships and plane portraits. We actually put those up recently again. So, some of his models he built over the years. We kind of stay away from political humor these days because you can't joke about it like you used to. So my dad was well known for political humor, in a lot of cases locally. One of my favorite pieces is the skeleton on the unicycle, and it's got a kind of a fedora hat on. It's got a life preserver from the Titanic, and then it's got Christmas lights on it. Real random, but it's fun, and that's what we want at Bjorn. So we don't want to be that boring menswear store. We like to make it a little fun in there. So.
Okay. What were some of the skills that you needed to learn to get where you are today at the clothing store?
Hands down responsibility. Like anybody, takes years for that sometimes. Just being very work-driven and focused, and customer service is a huge one. So you got to keep customers happy. You have to know inventory and styles and what people want and what they want to pay. So we pride ourselves on being very, very fair priced at Bjorn's. Yeah, it just takes a little of everything. A lot of patience. But yeah, that's what I'd say.
Okay, so you have a large tuxedo collection, and people come to you for weddings. Mm-hmm. So how many weddings are part of your business?
A massive amount. That's a huge part of our business. We pull from kind of all over southeast Wisconsin. Sometimes I get shocked how far people are willing to drive to come to us. We've had weddings where people have driven 3 and 4 hours just for rentals, because they've heard such good things about us, and that always blows my mind. Word of mouth is huge in our business. But yeah, we pull people from all over. Weddings number one. After that, just people that need suits for events, be it a funeral or a black tie event. We do lots of tux rentals and suit purchases and tuxedo purchases. We do a little of all of it. So.
Okay. How many employees do you have?
Right now, between full and part-time, I'd say about 13. Full-time, probably 5 or 6. I think it's 6 right now. Yeah, so quite a bit. So. A lot of great people.
Okay, and how long is your longest employee been there?
I'd say about 8 years.
And how do you find employees?
A lot of it's word of mouth. We've had friends of friends come in because the one employee enjoyed themselves. But it can't, like anything, sometimes when we can't find that perfect person, we go online or one of the job recruiting sites. But we got a great crew. People love being there. So it's kind of an enjoyable job. People enjoy dressing people up. It's kind of fun. It's a fun experience. So.
And what do you look for in an employee?
Hands down, they got to be personable with people, and they got to be accurate. Details matter in our business, but they got to definitely be good with people. They can't be shy or quiet. That just doesn't work in our business. With interaction, with fitting people for suits and stuff.
And what do they think, or how do they feel about the collection of things among the clothing that you sell?
The funny part, I'll tell you, is a couple, especially my female employees, almost have taken on my dad's job of decorating the store and keeping things really fun and lively in a lot of cases. It's kind of funny. My dad lives through them sometimes. They like putting the Waldo, little figurines up, or just different little things they like to do to keep it fun, redressing the fitting rooms to keep them interesting and not boring. But it's definitely, some of them really enjoy it.
Okay. Talk about COVID. How that affected your business.
That was a very interesting time. As you can imagine, like anybody, we got affected heavily by it. We were shut down. The day-to-day operations for that, I think that 2-month span we were shut down. I jokingly say I've never worked harder. That gave me a real opportunity to make some changes at the store while we were shut down, which then it's the best thing I ever did, because then we got absolutely slammed by weddings as soon as things opened up. Even people would be surprised, the end of 2020 before the vaccine, as soon as things opened up, we were very busy with weddings. It was weddings and nothing else. So and by that I mean just groomsmen and grooms. So a lot of people had small weddings, but we got slammed with a lot of weddings at that point, and that it just continued into 2021, 2022, and then 2023 now. The industry is very strong. I would say COVID really made people appreciate life and wanting to really have a good time while you're here, because we all realize how short life can be sometimes. And it made people, where weddings were slowly scaling back and becoming more casual, they seem to have went the opposite way, and now it's full on, black tie events. Sometimes people are demanding what people wear to the wedding. They don't want anybody showing up looking like a slob. But yeah, it's bigger and better than ever with the wedding industry. So
Do you find that there are themed weddings that make it a little even more interesting for you?
Yeah, we see anything. 1920s themed weddings were huge for a while, especially after the Great Gatsby movie. But just in general, some people have favorite colors they want all their guests wearing, or there's so many different ways you can go about it. But definitely, I think brides and grooms have been, like I was saying a little bit ago, a little more stricter dress code than it used to be. They don't want, Uncle Jerry showing up in cargo shorts.
Okay, and during the unrest, how did that affect your business?
That was a wild time, because we did have, I want to say, 6 to 8 weddings the week of those riots. And what blowed my mind was it did not scare our weddings away, first off. So people came in, we just had limited hours, we weren't open late at night. But we didn't let anybody down. We got it all through. A couple of my staff came in. I didn't force anybody. They decided they wanted to come in. And, we didn't want to let these weddings down. They were not always from the area. So we opened. In some cases, we were able to ship things to people's doors to be a little flexible with that. We boarded up, and I was one of the longer running businesses downtown when it came to leaving my boards up. The reason being, we had high windows that were very difficult to put that wood up on. And I just figured I'm there long term, and it wasn't worth the risk. We weren't sure what the reaction would be after the Kyle Rittenhouse trial and everything. So we left them up for quite a while. I think it was like eight months, and it was very depressing not having natural sunlight coming into Bjorn's. But we had to get through a difficult time and let everything calm down. And now we're on the other end of it, and we're still here. So I'm very thankful.
How has technology affected your business?
Oh man, I would say hands down in the world of like online reviews, first off, it kind of made our business explode. It really did. People are like, hey, I got an incredible deal at Bjorn's. People talk. We started seeing almost like, felt like every Saturday for months on end, we started noticing like people driving from like Madison or places 2 hours away just to come in for our suit special that we're known for. Same with weddings, but I would say first is spreading the word of Bjorn's and like what we offer. But second, all of our tuxes are in the computer system now, where we can easily ship a tux to somebody's door from our distribution center that supplies us. What else? Sometimes inventory management, ordering. It helps with a little of everything technology-wise, but you still need that same, human interaction when it comes to measuring, and there's not an easy answer for that yet. We're in a complicated business. I think that's what keeps us relevant in the world of the internet. People know what it's like to shop and find out things don't fit anything like what they're expecting. What keeps our wedding business strong and our reputation is how quick we can make adjustments. Again, it's a very complicated business where things don't always fit perfect on the first time. But what makes us different than some, especially rental places, is I'll spare no expense to fix things if something needs to be adjusted quick and last minute. It's a last minute business, so you got to kind of hustle sometimes.
So you have someone on call or ready to solve those emergencies, or?
Well, I'm the guy that's always on call to solve those emergencies. But yeah, we can anything from like somebody's missing a tie, we can drive an hour to the county if we had to we had a kind of a funny one last year where a guy got here from New Orleans and forgot the tux. We'd shipped him in New Orleans. We were able to overnight something on a Friday to a Saturday and save the wedding, and they were forever grateful for that, So that was always, just you get a lot of that stuff, groomsmen forgetting things or things getting lost. You just never know.
Okay. What is the best part of your job?
Without question, the customer interaction. You get a lot of happy customers, either happy with the deal they got or thoroughly enjoy when we're able to save somebody last second. There's like, oh, I drove to 20 different places. I should have came here first. You saved my day. Or, you get a lot of that. But I would say customer interaction without a question. It's very fulfilling. And when you get happy customers, obviously, when you deal with thousands and thousands of people, you're going to get an unhappy person or they're rude for no reason. And that definitely can burn you out for a day sometimes. But then you get right back there the next day and remember when somebody's kind and appreciative of the service you provide, and it really makes it worth it and fulfilling in the business. So,
okay. Well, I just want to step back. What percent of your business sales income is online versus in store?
Shockingly, 0. We're very lucky to be just a brick and mortar location that's strongly supported by Southeastern Wisconsin. Could change someday, and I'm very realistic with that fact, but at the moment we don't do any online sales. We're strictly brick and mortar, and it supports us and supports our employees, and I'm very fortunate for that. I count my lucky stars every day. So,
okay. So, thank you for talking with me today, Brett.
Sure, absolutely. It was a pleasure. Thank you for having me.